Alrighty, hello, good evening, and welcome back to the Law Entrance YouTube channel and to another session of the Hindu analysis. Today is 17th of April 2026. It's a lovely Friday evening. Friday को usually हम minty quiz करते हैं, but minty हम कल already कर चुके हैं. And as I also mentioned yesterday, in today's session, I might not be able to engage with you guys in the chat box. I would keep on asking you questions. So you can engage in the chat box, but I personally would not be able to see your comments because I'm recording this stream as of now at 7 a.m., but this would stream for you at 8 p.m. as usual. But yeah, this is just for today because I'm traveling. From tomorrow, you would see me live again. And yeah, that's about it. Let's start today's discussion. Let's look at today's agenda, folks. Let's see what all do we have to discuss today. 3 articles. Couple of them are headliners. One is regarding seat sharing and delimitation. I think half the newspaper today has articles related to delimitation or seat sharing. So yeah, we have already discussed this, but we'll see what is the new update. Then there is an announcement of a ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, and US is trying to lead this ceasefire. Then we have an editorial section, which in which we do this editorial, which talks about our sluggish legal system. This is an editorial by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Interesting article. We'll read about it. And apart from that, a few articles on the newspaper which are of relevance, of course, and 3 new vocabulary words. So that is on today's plan. Let's start without any further ado. Let me take you all to the newspaper for today. I hope I'm audible and visible along with the PPT and now along with the newspaper. वैसे तो कोई issue होना नहीं चाहिए. But yeah, all right, chalo. Today is 17th of April, Friday. This is the Hindu newspaper, which should be visible now on your screens, right? Let's start with today's discussion. South's seat share won't be cut, says our Prime Minister and our Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, is saying a narrative is being spread that representation of southern states will go down in the Lok Sabha. Their strength will in fact go up. He slams those spreading misconceptions. He tells Lok Sabha seats of 5 southern states will increase from 129 to 195 and reassures people of Tamil Nadu that their power is increasing. So we'll talk about this in detail on the PPT, what he's trying to say. On the right hand side, we have another article which talks about Trump announcing ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. Now, as per what we have studied till now and the updates which we have been following, we were aware of a ceasefire between US and Iran, which was brokered by Pakistan, a 2-week ceasefire, right? But Lebanon was excluded from the ceasefire, and as a result, we were seeing continuous missile strikes towards Lebanon, primarily from Israel. A lot of people lost their lives, a lot of damage to property, and so on. So now, finally, Trump has announced ceasefire between these two countries as well. We'll talk about this more on the PPT. For now, we move ahead. City-based news is not important for us. Census is starting, door-to-door surveys are starting. Okay. State-based news में देखते हैं. Electors cleared by tribunals till 21st April and 27th April can vote, says the Supreme Court. Now we all know this is in context with the special intensive revision. Bihar में assembly elections होने and during this process, we are aware that a lot of people were removed or disenfranchised from the voter list due to logical discrepancies, which is mismatch in records or errors. And इस वजह से almost 34 lakh people filed their appeals in different tribunals and courts to get their name restored on the voter list. Now, what has the Supreme Court decided? The Supreme Court, where the bench was led by our Chief Justice, Justice Suryakant, they stepped in to protect the voting rights, and they said that people who win their appeals and are cleared by 21st April or 27th April should be allowed to vote. And people whose appeals are still pending, they would not be allowed to vote yet. So Election Commission ने कहा कि they would publish a supplementary revised voter list, which is an updated voter list, which would include names of people whose appeal have been accepted. And they would do this before 23rd April for the first phase of voting. That means the people who are cleared by 21st of April can participate in the 23rd April wali first phase of voting, and people who are cleared by 27th April would be able to participate in the second phase of just filing. You also have to win your appeal and get your vote officially reinstated. So that is something which is noteworthy. Now, the Supreme Court used its special powers rather, under Article 142 to give this particular is a right which is deeply important for important है, so that we don't wrongly exclude people. आगे चलते हैं. Let's move ahead. State elections. Haryana Congress suspends 5 MLAs for voting against party nominee in Rajya Sabha poll. Delimitation will not affect Tamil Nadu, says AIADMK leader. Okay. Doctor terror module, JMK police file charge sheet. Manish Tiwari saying reserve 181 seats for women. Ashok Gehlot is saying Congress is biggest supporter of women reservation. Okay. Culture Ministry spent 76 lakh rupees on RSS centenary print advertisements, said an RTI reply. Centenary मतलब 100 साल पूरे होना. तो उसमें जो print advertisement थे उसमें 76 lakh of taxpayer money was spent by the Culture Ministry. Interesting. RSS was founded by Keshav Baliram Hedgevar in 1925, यानी कि 2025 में जो है 2 अक्टूबर को 100 years सेलिब्रेट किए गए थे आरएसएस के राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ. High Court seeks replies from 2 Indore councillors who refused to sing the Vande Mataram at civic meeting. Pilgrims killed, 12 injured, pickup vehicle and tanker collide. High Court declines to quash FIR. ठीक है, nothing important for us here. Let's move ahead. Okay, we're down to the editorial section. The institutionalized sluggishness means slow pace of the legal system. This is a nice editorial. We'll discuss this on the PPT. On the left-hand side, we see creeping risk. Industrial accidents occur due to neglect of risks build over time. So this is with the context of the recent accident which happened in Chhattisgarh, जहाँ पे there was a blast and a lot of people lost their lives. Just a second, guys. I'm back, folks. So मैं क्या बता रहा था आप लोगों को, कौन से आर्टिकल के बारे में बता रहा था, लीगल सिस्टम के बारे में बता रहा था. चलो इसी की बात कर लेते हैं. तो ये जो लीगल सिस्टम वाला आर्टिकल है इसमें शशि थरूर भाई साहब ने काफी सारी बातें करी हैं जिस वजह से हमारा लीगल सिस्टम अफेक्ट हो रहा है. ही टॉक्स अबाउट मेजर इश्यूज. द फर्स्ट इश्यूज ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर मैसिव डिलेज बिकॉज ऑफ पेंडेंसी क्राइसिस. लगभग 5 करोड़ केस जो है पेंडिंग है कोर्ट्स में एंड सालों से चल रहे हैं, कुछ कुछ तो डेकेड से चल रहे हैं. एंड the result is that after such a long period of time it becomes meaningless to even provide justice. Like justice delayed is equal to justice denied is what we say. And of course these legal battles are costly, they are exhausting, they are time consuming, money consuming. The second problem he discusses is the endless procedures and adjournments. Matlab, तारीख पे तारीख, frequent delays, technical hurdles. And he says that the system feels like a black hole where just money and time keep on disappearing. And the process itself has become a punishment for citizens. The third thing which he tries to highlight is how this has a very harsh impact on accused people. मतलब जो लोग जेल में इस समय सड़ रहे हैं without getting a trial, without getting a hearing. तो उनको जो है उनकी केस की सुनवाई नहीं हो रही है. Their life, their reputation, their livelihood is destroyed. Especially people who are charged under acts like the UAPA, like the NDPS, जहाँ पे bail is usually very hard to get, and therefore people remain jailed for such long periods of time without any proper trials. तो ये कुछ problems इन्होंने highlight करी. And then he also gives you certain solutions. He talks about how there should be time-bound justice. Timelines fix होनी चाहिए कि trial जो है इतने time में start हो जाना चाहिए and accused को bail मिल जानी चाहिए. फिर technology का use करना चाहिए. अभी भी हम पेपर बेस्ड सिस्टम्स पुराने सिस्टम्स पे चल रहे हैं, AI का यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, डिजिटल फाइलिंग का यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, that can really help a lot in reducing delays and workload. And then he talks about how judiciary has to be made more inclusive. अभी जो है, there is very limited representation of women or marginalized groups, and a diverse judiciary in his opinion would bring a better understanding of the society and would deliver more fair and empathetic judgments to people. And then he talks about how legal services are also very expensive for common people. उसके लिए हमें legal aid system बनाना चाहिए. We should ensure poor people get quality lawyers as well, and accessibility improves. Just a second. Yeah, sorry, I got a call. So yeah, that is what this article talks about. On the left hand side, we see creeping risk. Industrial accidents occur due to neglect of risks which build up over time. I was telling you that this is in context with the Chhattisgarh blast incident, जहाँ पे बॉयलर एक्सप्लोजन हो गया था, इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सप्लोजन. एंड ये सडनली नहीं होता. दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ अ लॉन्ग ड्यू ignorance of risk and weak safety systems. And this article tells us how India's safety regulations and labor practices are very flawed, which leads to multiple disasters. हमें हर महीने हर साल कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा डिजास्टर सुनने को मिलता ही है. And the article also explains that how gradually this problem builds up, especially with respect to boiler explosions. He talks about overpressure, scaling, poor water management, stress during restarting the operations. जिस वजह से multifold जो है risk आपका बढ़ जाता है. He talks about how the restart phase of a boiler is very dangerous and fatal. It can be fatal if proper precautions are not taken place. He gives you multiple examples: Vishakhapatnam gas leak, then Neyveli thermal power plant blast, Shakti power boiler explosion, which happened very recently in Chhattisgarh. So the issue is that there is weak inspection and regulation. बॉयलर के इंस्पेक्शन यूजुअली साल में एक बार कराए जाते हैं, जिससे उनकी चेंजिंग कंडीशंस का पता नहीं चलता है. So the solution is of course frequent inspections. And the second issue which he highlights is that there are wrong incentives which are being set. Current system जो है, it penalizes shutdowns or downtime for a boiler, and it does not penalize unsafe operations. So obviously companies जो है preventive maintenance breaks नहीं लेना चाहती हैं ताकि उनका नुकसान ना हो. एंड गवर्नमेंट ओवरसाइट भी उतनी ज्यादा इस पे है नहीं. ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के चक्कर में सेल्फ सर्टिफिकेशन देती जा रही गवर्नमेंट सारी कंपनीज को, थर्ड पार्टी ऑडिट्स अप्रूव करती जा रही है, सरप्राइज इंस्पेक्शंस हो नहीं रहे. इस वजह से अकाउंटेबिलिटी कोई है ही नहीं. अब इससे नुकसान किसका हो रहा है? ऑब्वियसली वर्कर्स का नुकसान हो रहा है. दे आर द वन हु फेस द ब्रंट ऑफ इट, मोस्टली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड माइग्रेंट लेबर्स, बिकॉज उनको ट्रेनिंग भी नहीं दी जाती है, लैक ऑफ ट्रेनिंग, पुअर सेफ्टी अवेयरनेस एंड लैंग्वेज बैरियर्स एज वेल इन सम केसेस, क्योंकि जो मैनुअल्स होते हैं वो इंग्लिश में होते हैं बॉयलर चलाने के. अब लेबरर जो है तो इंग्लिश पढ़ना जानता होता तो वो बॉयलर में काम नहीं कर रहा होता. सो दैट ऑल्सो क्रिएट्स अ गैप इन ट्रेनिंग एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ मशीनरी. एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज लैक ऑफ अवेयरनेस. वर्कर्स को पता नहीं होता कौन से केमिकल्स कैसे हैंडल करने हैं. उस वजह से मल्टीपल हमें डिजास्टर्स देखने को मिलते हैं. अब इसमें एम्प्लॉयर जो है आसानी से बच जाता है, क्योंकि रूल्स उतने स्ट्रिक्ट नहीं है फॉर कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल रिलेशनशिप्स. एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय रिलेशनशिप के रूल्स तो स्ट्रिक्ट हैं, लेकिन जब आप कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर हायर करते हो तो उसके जो लैप्सेस होते हैं उसके रिगार्डिंग उतनी ज़्यादा कोई पेनल्टीज नहीं है. एंड दैट इज व्हाई दीज एक्सीडेंट्स कीप ऑन हैपनिंग एंड दे हैव बिकम अ सिस्टेमिक पार्ट ऑफ आवर इंडस्ट्रियल इकोसिस्टम बिकॉज ऑफ इग्नोर्ड सेफ्टी एंड प्रिकॉशन. तो वही कहता है आर्टिकल की, वही मॉनिटरिंग कॉन्स्टेंटली होनी चाहिए, वर्कर सेफ्टी पे काम होना चाहिए, अकाउंटेबिलिटी गैप्स फिल होने चाहिए. दैट इज हाउ वी वुड प्रिवेंट दिस. Okay, moving ahead, India's rural models are shaping development diplomacy. Interesting article. यहाँ मैडम काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें हमें बताती हैं. The main idea although is a national rural livelihood mission, जो गवर्नमेंट का एक इनिशिएटिव है, where they highlight how the program has reduced rural poverty in India. It has empowered a lot of women and has become a model for many other developing countries in Africa. अब क्या है ये NRLM और नेशनल रूरल लाइवलीहुड मिशन, वो समझते हैं थोड़ा सा. दिस वाज लॉन्च्ड इन 2011. पर्पस वाज टू रिड्यूस पॉवर्टी एंड प्रमोट सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड स्किल्स एंड आल्सो टू इम्प्रूव फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन. प्राइमरी इनका जो स्टेक होल्डर है या जो फोकस एरिया है दैट इज ऑन रूरल विमेन. through self-help groups. अब large scale impact की बात करी जाए तो this has definitely had a big impact in 700 plus districts, 100 million plus households, 9 million plus self-help groups, and a lot of women have benefited out of this. Over 2 crore women are now on more than a lakh per year, which is not a lot, but it is definitely a starting point. So they have become self-sufficient in some manner, and a lot of women now have access to bank credit and loans. A lot of women have bank accounts now, and bank linkages are happening. And women are leading this transformation because they are collaborating through self-help groups and acting as banking correspondents in 60% of the local areas. यानी कि बैंक जो है जाके लोन रिकवरी नहीं कर रहा है, जो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स हैं वही लोन प्रोवाइड करवा रहे हैं और वही लोन रिकवर करके दे रहे हैं. जिस वजह से फीमेल वर्कफोर्स पार्टिसिपेशन काफी ज्यादा बढ़ा है, एंड इट हैज क्रिएटेड अ स्ट्रॉन्ग लोकल इकोसिस्टम by bringing together community institutions जैसे village level पे, block level पे. फिर local trained workers इन्होंने रखे हैं different cadres के, which are combining this cultural and social mobilization with their skills by providing credit, loans, facilities, and that is why we are seeing an impact where other countries can definitely take a page from this book. This article talks lastly about how India is now exporting ideas and systems, not just money, and NRLM is one such example. They also talk about future possibilities on how we can create some more knowledge sharing platforms and offer training, fellowships, joint projects, etc., etc. So yeah, interesting article. Okay, आगे चलते हैं. Queen on the board, Vaishali's success should lead to greater depth in women's chess. So the title is quite self-explanatory. This is regarding women's chess player, female chess player, called Miss R. Vaishali, and उनका achievement यहाँ पे highlight किया है because she recently won the women's candidates tournament, which is a big deal because the winner gets to challenge the world champion. Now she would be facing Ju Wenjin for the world title, and if she wins, she would get the world title. Now, this is the first time in India an Indian woman has won the candidates since 1952, which is a type of tournament, कह सकते हो. And she's only the second Indian to play the women's world championship match. And she's aspiring now to become the first Indian woman world chess champion in the classical format of chess. बाकी फीमेल चेस प्लेयर्स की बात करी जाए who are also in limelight, we heard of Divya Deshmukh last year, who won the women's World Cup and became the first Indian woman to do so. Then we heard of Koneru Hampi, who won the World Rapid Championship in 2024. Both of these happened in 2024. So yeah, Indian women are doing pretty well in chess. हमारी छोरियां छोरों से कम नहीं है. And there are some systemic issues which still need to be solved. Yeah, it still needs to be solved. Like there's still a lot of lack of depth in women's chess. Although there are some isolated examples which I just gave you, we still don't have a very strong female chess culture. Players उतने ज़्यादा हमारे पास नहीं है. Very few girls are coming up in chess as compared to boys. And the reason is कि maximum ये जो लड़कियां सामने आ रही हैं, this is because of their individual effort, not because the system is supporting them. The system is kind of against them. They are just coming to the forefront based on their personal effort, their family support, and a national system which is not well developed is definitely a roadblock in their journey. The article argues that corporates को जो है थोड़ी सी फंडिंग वगैरह के लिए आना चाहिए प्लेयर्स के लिए. जैसे इन्होंने एग्जांपल्स दिए हैं कुछ जिन्होंने चेस प्लेयर्स को फंड किया जिन कंपनीज ने. वेस्ट ब्रिज करके एक अकेडमी है विच इज बाय विश्वनाथन आनंद, द लेजेंडरी चेस प्लेयर फ्रॉम इंडिया, जिन्होंने काफी सारे चेस प्लेयर्स को सपोर्ट किया है. दे टॉक अबाउट हाउ गर्ल्स चेस को सपोर्ट और मिलना चाहिए, फंडिंग मिलनी चाहिए, ताकि इस तरीके के सक्सेसफुल इंसिडेंट्स हमें और ज्यादा देखने को मिले. सो या, नाइस, इंटरेस्टिंग. आगे चलते हैं. सबरीमाला टेम्पल एंट्री केस हम बात कर चुके हैं, जिस पढ़ लेते हैं एक बार जल्दी से. आर्टिकल 25 to 28 अंडर पार्ट 3 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन guarantees right to freedom of religion, with the Sabrimala matter focused on interplay between 25 and 26. The Union government argued that constitutional morality is subjective and not an independent ground for judicial review, that judges should not act as social reformers, with reforms instead emanating from legislature and society, and that judiciary is ill-equipped to determine essential religious practices. At its core, The issue turns to how the Constitution distinguishes between protected religious practices and those amenable to reform. Amenable to reform मतलब open to change. All right, यहाँ पे कुछ important नहीं है. Let's move ahead. Game of Thrones को कितने साल हो गए? 2011 में आया था आज ही के दिन. Nice. One of the best TV series if you ignore season 8. No injustice to any state with delimitation bill, says Modi ji. Center is using it as a political weapon. Seat allocation for states. Who said what? ठीक है, यहाँ पे अलग अलग पॉलिटिशियंस के ओपिनियन है ऑन डिलिमिटेशन, which is not important for us. TDP sought clarity from government on South's seat share. On the left hand side, the Supreme Court ने क्या ओपिनियन दिया है? Delimitation with old data can upset electoral framework. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो व्यू है डिलिमिटेशन पे, इट इज दैट इट शुड नॉट बी डन बिफोर 2026 एज पर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. एंड उन्होंने जो अर्ली डिलिमिटेशन की जो प्ली है उसको रिजेक्ट कर दिया काफी सारे स्टेट में. डिलिमिटेशन आपको पता ही है क्या है प्रोसेस. अब यहाँ पे दो आर्टिकल्स रेलिवेंट है, आर्टिकल 82 एंड आर्टिकल 170, विच आर कंसर्न विद डिलिमिटेशन एंड चेंजिंग ऑफ बाउंड्रीज. हमें पता है कि टिल द फर्स्ट सेंसस डिलिमिटेशन इज फ्रोजन, तब तक कोई चेंज नहीं हो सकता. एंड इसी वजह से जो है गवर्नमेंट दो बिल लेके आ रही है, डिलिमिटेशन बिल एंड द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट बिल. काफी सारे स्टेट्स ने अलग से मूव किया था कोर्ट, बट कोर्ट ने उनकी अपील्स को रिजेक्ट कर दिया. दे आर सेइंग दैट डूइंग डिलिमिटेशन बिफोर 2026, ये लास्ट ईयर की बात है जब उन्होंने बोला था, इसलिए 2026. They said that this would blur the line between constitutional rules and political decisions that could undermine the democracy as well. अब पॉलिटिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट देखा जाए तो कोर्ट का जो व्यू था ये इस समय काफी ज्यादा रेलेवेंट है. एंड यूजुअली कोर्ट्स जो है डिलिमिटेशन में इंटरफेयर नहीं करते, बट वी हैव पास्ट एग्जांपल्स वेयर कोर्ट्स हैव टेकन प्रोएक्टिव एक्शन. राजनारायण वर्सेस इंदिरा गांधी इज वन सच केस, लैंडमार्क केस है जहाँ पे कोर्ट took a positive step in this direction. The court can step in if delimitation is arbitrary, if it is unreasonable, if it is against constitutional values. इसका भी एक केस हो चुका है पहले, called the किशोर चंद्र राठौड़ केस, जिसमें कोर्ट ने सिमिलर मेजर्स लिए थे. तो पॉइंट सारा ये है कि delimitation has to follow a strict constitutional timeline, and early attempt of delimitation could be unfair and a misuse of political power. देखते हैं कोर्ट यहाँ पे किस हद तक इंटरवीन करता है. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं हम लोग. यहाँ पे वही सब डिलिमिटेशन, वेपनाइजेशन, वही सारी बातचीत चल रही है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफर्स फ्रेश होप टू एक्सक्लूडेड वोटर्स. No military solution to conflict, says Austrian Chancellor and PM Modi. You can see him, Christian Stocker. Met with Modi ji, New Delhi आए हुए हैं. This is his first visit to Asia. Okay, auto sector reaches broad consensus, not important. Government on wait and watch mode, not important. ठीक है, यहाँ पे कुछ important नहीं है. Cuba is ready for possible US attack, says Diaz Canal. Pakistan's Munir meets Iran's Ghalibaf. Sharif visits Qatar in a 4-day tour. Pakistan is acting as a mediator, with General Asim Munir delivering a message from US. While White House indicates the next round of talks will likely return to Islamabad, Pakistan Foreign Ministry has said no date has been set yet. Okay, Russia-Ukraine is going on. Pope blasts tyrants ravaging Earth during Cameroon visit. Sports match कुछ significant नहीं है, as I predicted. Punjab won yesterday against MI. Yeah, that's all about the newspaper for the day, folks. काफी छोटा ही था आज का न्यूज़पेपर. लेट्स कम बैक टू आवर पीपीटी एंड फिनिश ऑफ द 3 रिमेनिंग आर्टिकल्स एज वेल वेरी क्विकली. सीट शेयरिंग एंड डिलिमिटेशन की बात वैसे तो मैंने आपको बता दी है. नरेंद्र मोदी and Amit Shah assured Parliament that upcoming challenges to election laws will reduce the share of seat held by southern states even after major restructuring. The plan is to increase the number of seats in Lok Sabha significantly by about 50%. अभी मत बंद करो, लैपटॉप रखना है मुझे उसको. Yeah, by about 50% more per state. So every state gets more MPs. Their relative proportion stays roughly the same. This reassurance matters because southern states have long worried that population-based redistribution could reduce their influence compared to other populous northern states. 131st Amendment की हम बात कर चुके हैं. Fresh redrawing of constituencies. UT Laws Amendment Bill extends it to Delhi, Puducherry, and J&K. Amit Shah clarified in detail that after the delimitation, southern states will not lose representation, countering fears and what he calls misconceptions. After these changes, the Lok Sabha is expected to expand to 816 seats, up from current 543, which allows both more representation overall and preservation of existing balance. Instead of redistributing a fixed number of seats, the government plans to increase total seats so everyone gains without upsetting the balance. Now, ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. Trump announced a 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon starting at midnight. After speaking with both the sides, he said he had discussion with Joseph Aoun and Benjamin Netanyahu, representatives of both the countries, and both leaders agreed to pause fighting to move towards peace. This is important because it could expand an earlier US-Iran ceasefire, making the overall regional situation calmer. Earlier, when the US-Iran truce was announced, Israel had excluded Lebanon and even increased military strikes there. So this new deal tries to bring Lebanon into the peace process. This is expected to include Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran and has been involved in the conflict. Iran had been pushing for Lebanon to be included in any truce. So this move could help reduce wider tensions if it holds. The US is trying to broaden a limited ceasefire into a larger regional pause in conflict, bringing more parties into the agreement. The last one today is regarding the legal system. वैसे तो मैंने आपको समझा दिया ये पूरा. Justice delayed is justice denied, a reality rather than warning. High-profile cases move faster. Ordinary citizens get stuck in delays, adjournment procedures, time and money are wasted. Massive backlog of cases, benefits wrongdoers, long delays means justice become meaningless, so on. The slow pace has led to the idea that process itself is the punishment, especially for accused who spent time in jail before being proven innocent. Laws like UAPA, difficult to get bail, they remain in prison under trial. They argue for fixed timelines, which are told modernization of courts. Speed alone is not enough. More inclusive judiciary, more women, more marginalized people. And this would improve fairness and understanding. I already told this to you. It's also expensive. तो legal aid system चाहिए. Another issue is access. दूर के लोग दिल्ली नहीं जा सकते. So virtual hearings चाहिए. Judicial independence is crucial for democracy, but should come with transparency and accountability, like live streaming cases. Overall, it argues about how it should be treated as a national emergency, not gradual changes. Because the goal is to build a system that is fast, fair, inclusive, and citizen forward, especially as they aim for 2047 विकसित भारत. वो क्या कर लेते हैं आज का. द फर्स्ट वर्ड इज कल्यूड. कल्यूड मतलब होता है मिली भगत. Cooperate in a secret or unlawful way in order to deceive or gain an advantage over others. Combine, conspire, collaborate are synonyms. Differ, disagree, split are antonyms. He accused his opponents of colluding with one another. The next word is imperceptibly, which means in a way that is so slight, gradual, or subtle as is not even perceived. Aggressively, gradually are synonyms. Abruptly, suddenly are antonyms. The disease develops gradually and imperceptibly. मतलब बिना पता चले, बहुत हल्के हल्के. The last word is suffuses, which means gradually spread through or over. The living room suffused with warm sunlight. With that, we come to the end of today's discussion. That's all for the day. I'll see you all tomorrow in a live session in the Hindu analysis. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much. Tata. Bye-bye. Good night. Signing off.